I just recorded this entire video and realized that I never pushed the record button. Alright, so let's try this again. Hi everybody, and welcome back to Proximity.fun. My name is Tristan, and today we're going to be talking about how to get your Bluetooth beacon notifications to show up on the lock screen of your phone, and also some other cool notification settings that we can mess around with. Now, before we get too far into this, I do need to give you a little bit of a disclaimer. This isn't something that's on by default. It's something you have to manually go in and turn on, but there's some interesting caveats to that. So I had actually planned to record this video like a week ago. I had all my scripts written out and everything, and I noticed some interesting things happening with my notifications, and I wanted to give it a little bit more time to test things to kind of see what was going on, and that's the reason that this video is coming out so late. But something weird happened, and I want to get to that here in just a minute. I want to talk about my thoughts and opinions on this here in just a second, but first let me tell you how to get these things to turn on. First thing you need to do is you need to go into your nearby notification section, right? Click on where it says settings, and then from settings you have two different options. One of them will say links, one of them will say popular links. We're not 100% sure what separates the two. It could be click-through rates, which kind of seems like the most likely thing. It could also simply be something like site metrics, so like if a website has more authority in Google's eyes, so something like Facebook or Google My Business or YouTube in the example that we're going to be showing you, those tend to be websites that have a lot of authority that Google trusts, and the websites themselves are more popular. And so I kind of think that's the way that it goes, because my YouTube video was showing up in the popular section, whereas my website was showing up in the normal links. But both options are going to be pretty much the same once you click on them. It's going to ask you to pick a level of notification for the Bluetooth beacons that your phone detects. Urgent, reading my script here. Setting the importance level to urgent will cause your phone to beep or vibrate whenever a beacon is detected, and it will display the drop-down notifications, like what you see from something like a Facebook notification. Pro tip, don't leave this turned on with 5 beacons in your office overnight. It'll drive your wife crazy. Setting it to high just gives you the beep. Setting it to medium is the default notification option, so that's what you normally see. And setting it to low will limit it to the notification drawer. A little bit further down on the main screen, you'll have the option to change the notification sound to set the phone to vibrate when a notification is detected. Again, don't leave this on with 5 beacons in your house. And allowing the icon badge is on by default. That's the notification symbol that shows up at the top of the screen. You can also turn on LED flashes. Again, don't leave that on overnight. And then we have the lock screen settings. By setting this to show all notification content or hide sensitive notification content, it'll show the call to action, the link, the favicon of your website, and it's pretty darn spiffy. And of course, you also have the option to override the do not disturb settings, which basically means that if your phone is set to do not disturb, it will tell you whether or not you still receive notifications from a beacon. Now, what was interesting is, like I said, I was planning to do this video about a week ago. I went through and I programmed my phone to do everything it was supposed to do. And then we had that night where the phone wouldn't stop beeping all night. And so I went and I turned all those notifications back off. I set them back to their default settings. So again, like I said, I was planning to do all this video last week. But what happened was that after that first night, when we noticed the notifications going off all night long, I thought, okay, I need to turn this thing off because this is going to drive us crazy. And so I put all the settings back to normal. I set them back to the default settings. Okay. The YouTube video kept showing up on my lock screen, and it did it for a good 4 or 5 days afterwards. In fact, it just recently stopped doing it, and we're kind of glad it did, because it was actually getting to be a little annoying. Because like you'd be there on Facebook, and then all of a sudden, hey, watch this YouTube video. It's like, it's my video. I made it. But it's okay. The video itself did get quite a few more views during that time, and I think that's partially because there are a lot of kids here in my area. Our neighbor's kind of a geek as well, and this was for the new expansion for World of Warcraft. It was a trailer that had a bunch of the different cinematics and things like that in it, and I was wondering, maybe people were just clicking on it a little bit more often, and it was causing the link to become more popular, and it's causing that to then be pushed higher and to show up on the lock screen. So not 100% sure if that's what's causing it. Again, this is kind of speculation and theory at this point, but I thought it was interesting. I thought it was worth mentioning. Now, normally you do have to go in and adjust your phone settings in order for these notifications to show up, except in the case of this video. So one of the other questions I wanted to answer, or at least something that I wanted to share my opinion on, was whether or not this was still valuable for us as proximity marketers, whether or not this is something that we should still be aware of or even care about. And I think the answer is yes. First is it kind of gives us an idea of where Google might want to go with this in the future. And if we have these manual settings in here now, who's to say that they're not going to change the default setting from being medium to being high? We might start getting more of these notifications to show up, and it wouldn't be difficult for them to go in and change that default setting, especially on newer devices. The other neat thing about it is that it kind of helps us to show to the customer, to the client that we're going to be promoting this to, that Google really is interested and involved in this, and they've given us these options to, increase the delivery of our notifications. And so that's another important thing to keep in mind, that it generates a lot of confidence and trust in the user, because it's not just us showing, hey, look at this magic little box I have. No, it's something that Google has built, something that Google is actively working on, and it's something that is going to continue to grow. And I think that's one of the things that we don't mention very often, is telling people, hey, look, this isn't just something that we came up with. This is a Google product. This is a Google service. We are just here to promote that Google service while it's still being developed. And then finally, for your captive audiences, so things like your tourist attractions, your museums, your zoos, and those types of clients that you might be working with, if you can tell people, hey, look, not only can you turn on these Bluetooth notifications really easily on your phone, but you can also go and you can turn on these advanced notifications. And if you can show them the value they're going to be getting out of doing that, again, it takes like 5 seconds. Like, I actually wrote down the instructions in 5 points. Click on settings, click on Google, click on nearby, set link and popular link notifications to high or urgent, and you're done. That's it. It really is that fast and simple. You can do it in like 30 seconds. So if you can tell a customer, or if you can tell a visitor that these options are available, they go and they turn it on, and as they're walking around through the zoo, walking around through the museum, walking around through the building, if it's like your local DMV, well, I guess your guys' DMVs are probably better set up than ours. Ours is inside of like a 200-year-old building. It has like 4 or 5 different floors, and you have to go up here and down here, and then you have to go through this other hallway and go up the other set of stairs in order to find the actual DMV. Something like this would be really helpful. And so I do think that there is a space for this. I don't think that it would be too difficult to convince visitors to these locations of the value of going on and turning on these settings, because then they're going to be getting more out of it. The experience is going to be better because they're going to have access to this additional information. And finally, I hope this is just a sign of things to come. I hope that this is a way for Google to start playing with and testing some of these advanced options and making the Bluetooth beacons more noticeable. Because, truth be told, and you guys already know this, one of the biggest challenges is just getting people to see the notification and to interact with the notification. And so by allowing us to start testing some of these different features and setting in these different settings, then I think that this is a way that Google can test what they're doing. They can test the way that users engage with the notification that we're sending out. And I think that this is something that will continue to grow and progress over time. Now, I also think that the YouTube thing is really interesting. So if you guys do want to try testing out a YouTube video for your Bluetooth notifications, you certainly can. In fact, I think you probably should. And what I would suggest that you guys do, if you're not really familiar with making videos, if you don't have a fancy $600 computer and $20 lights that you got off of Amazon that I'm actually not using, then you can use another platform that's really, really easy. It's called Adobe Spark. You can make YouTube videos on it very quickly, very easily. It's free. And we've made quite a few tutorials on this, so if you guys want to learn how to do that, if you want to see how we're making money using Adobe Spark videos for our customers and for our clients, I'm going to leave links to those in the description, the comments on the cards, or at the end screen or something like that. So definitely check those out if that's something you guys are interested in doing. And then, of course, if you do go out and do the YouTube videos, I'd be very curious to see what kind of results you get. I'm very curious to see if you guys are getting the notifications to show up on your lock screens organically without going in and messing around with the settings. Definitely want to know that. But I think that'll do it for me. My name is Tristan from Proximity.fun, where we're trying to help you guys make more money for yourselves and for your customers using Bluetooth beacon and proximity marketing technology. Hope you have a great day. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next videos. Bye!